I don't want to go back to Sindh province, Ben, but I think the example, the comparison I always make is with the princely states in British India. You're not actually formally part of His Majesty's dominions, but you have no say whatsoever in diverging from the principles of English law and English rule. And so you become a kind of pathetic, I mean, for Brussels, it's win-win. Britain hasn't left the EU, but is maintained as a kind of ramshackle protectorate of it.
It's effectively why the US rebelled against the United Kingdom. It's taxation without representation. That's what we've got in Northern Ireland. We're going to soon have that right across the United Kingdom. It's an absolute affront to democracy. Democracy has been absolutely turned on its head by successive, Tory governments. I blame the Tories because they've been in office. They gave us the referendum. They refused to implement the result. They gave us a deal with the EU that allowed us to be sucked back into it. And I remember back in I remember it well because it sent Sophie Ridge into shock. I was on Sophie Ridge during the election and she said, "So what do you think of the withdrawal agreement?" And I said, "Well, I think it's worse than Remain because actually we're going to be hitched at the hip to the EU and we would have given up our vote. We would have given up our say in all the institutions. We will optically have Brexit, but we will be stuck in this kind of lunar orbit." And we've been stuck in lunar orbit. Make no mistake, we're getting closer to the EU, but we've been stuck in lunar orbit around the EU ever since 31st January 2020, when we notionally left the organization. And, and as you say, Mark, their negotiating tactics have not been in good faith. They've absolutely run us ragged. And I think that is significantly down to the fact that so many people in our government and our institutions, as Kate said, want to go back into the EU. Democracy, as I began this little segment with, has been turned on its head and abused.